honored to be here with all of you. I was sitting here a few minutes ago and my flight back home to New Jersey was canceled for snow. So I think I live in Charlotte now.
That's right.
And I was rooting for the Panthers last weekend. And they almost won. And it was close and I was impressed. But I was telling some of the brothers that it's always exciting for me to come back and visit cities that I have visited all my life, but I was not a Muslim. I actually was a pastor in Atlanta for almost 15 years, and I spoke at many churches in Charlotte. And it's beautiful to me, now I'm 46 years old, to be able to come back to places and see the city and see the people in such a different way. And I'm honored to be here. It's a little embarrassing for me sometimes because the truth is, the brothers you've already heard, they probably should be the keynote speaker and I should be warming up to them. And it's my honor to be here with them and I learn from them. I love Helping Hand, and whenever Helping Hand asks me to be somewhere, I try my best to do it. I've actually participated in several Helping Hand projects in Gaza, behind the scenes, building some of those projects from scratch, from the ground up. I've worked with Helping Hand to develop restrooms. It sounds basic, but maybe all of you probably have had a moment where, for whatever reason, the water in your house wasn't working. It's a terrible experience. You maybe have had a moment before where you just tried to turn the water on in your kitchen sink and it didn't work, and you start to panic almost right away because you know if this also means the water all over the house is not working, it becomes a disaster quickly. If you go a few hours in your house, forgive me, without being able to flush the toilets, it's a challenge. Imagine going a few days and you couldn't flush the toilet. Now imagine your entire street can't flush the toilet. Then it's your entire neighborhood. Imagine Charlotte. Charlotte and Gaza are very comparable size, actually. Imagine Charlotte for 2.5 years couldn't flush a toilet. This is what our people are facing. Something that we sometimes may flush the toilet 2 or 3 times. I'm sorry to be so direct. These are the challenges. One of my dearest friends in Gaza, next year, and don't applaud this, part of me is ashamed of it. Next year will be the 25th year that I've been speaking up and fighting for Philistine. And 25 years ago, I didn't think we would be fighting 25 years later. When I was a college student in Atlanta and we would say free Palestine, I thought we were a few months away. And one of my friends, this was still in 2023. He said, Shaun, social media shows you so much, but he said, you don't smell what we smell.
Wow.
You don't feel what we feel. It shows you what you never imagined you would see. But he said, Shaun, there's something almost miraculous that's happened. He said, no one in Gaza, he said, we never talked about this, but he said there was a silent agreement that we would never show the world what our restroom situation currently looks like. And he said, Shaun, I'm gonna show you what we're dealing with. This is in like December of 2023. This is, the toilet's not flushing for 3 months. He said, Shaun, this toilet is used by almost 4,000 people. This is the toilet that belongs to 4,000 people. And he said, do you understand why we never show it? And he said, there's something that hurts us that we have to see it, and we don't want to force that hurt onto you. And so Helping Hand is building restrooms and washrooms. People for the very first time in their lives are sometimes having to think, how do I do wudu? Are there alternate methods? Or what else can we do? So we've built stations where people can do wudu and wash, where women can have privacy and dignity and take care of themselves. I want to tell, if you don't mind, a personal story, and it may be surprising, particularly in light of all that we're seeing in our country right now. Some of the brothers that have spoken have said this, and they didn't even have to say it because we all see it. This is an amazingly difficult time in our world. Many of us have used the word painful. It's excruciating. I was crushed when I saw this ICE officer shoot a woman in her face. I wrote an article 2 days ago about a Latino brother in Texas in an ICE detention center that was just choked to death. Didn't even make the news. I wrote an article last night about ICE agents in Minnesota that went to a Mexican restaurant, ate their lunch, and then arrested the people that cooked their meal. That's a special brand of evil. To eat the good food that somebody made for you because your people's food has no taste. And then have the gall to arrest these dignified people, these underpaid people who cooked your meal. And then I started noticing something very quickly. Just over the past month, I started noticing Muslims around the world, Muslims in Gaza, Muslims in Sudan, Muslims in Iran, say they're doing the same thing to you that they first did to us. The exact same tactics and strategies. Why? They teach each other. They train each other. They use the same companies for contractors, for weapons. Donald Trump announced a new board to run Gaza, and the board is just a board of Zionists. I don't say that even as an insult. They call themselves that. And if I didn't know it, it would shock me to learn that throughout our history, Muslims have actually stood up against this kind of oppression and fought back and won. It would be, if you were not a Muslim, if you did not know our history, I could forgive you for thinking that Muslims don't fight back. Because we've done something strange in the world where it is legal, you have the right to resistance. It is honored in the United Nations. All oppressed people are allowed to resist. In this world, we celebrate resistance, but we ban the resistors. We make it illegal. It's frightening for you to even say you support those that are resisting. If you're not a born American citizen, suddenly you're afraid to even double tap a post on Instagram, not knowing that someone might see what you're doing and hold it against you later. I had a conversation with one of my friends from Gaza, and one of the things that they will often ask me to do is they will ask me to tell them about my daily life. Something very simple. And they don't talk about it publicly very much, but one of the things the brothers tell me is, Shaun, you have no idea. Yes, we're starving. Yes, it's dangerous. You have no idea how outrageously bored we are. There's nothing to do. There's nowhere to go. There's no restaurant to eat at. There's no school. Kids haven't had school for almost 3 years. Parents have no free time. You can't even fish. You can't go out on the water. You can't even take a walk. And so a brother asked me one day, I could cry thinking about it. He said, Shaun, just start at the beginning of your day and tell me all about it. So I started telling him. I was like, well, I woke up and took the kids to school and dropped them off. He said, no. He said, slow down for me. It just hurt me. He said, what did you do when you woke up? And I told him that I argued with my wife. And he said to me, it shocked me. He said he had been separated from his wife for not in marriage, but in geography. He had been caught on the other side of a fake border crossing. He said, Shaun, I would do anything to argue with my wife right now. I know. That's a rare, you won't hear a man say that very often. I think you have to be in a genocide to miss arguing with your wife.
No doubt.
I immediately understood. He said, and I remember it so vividly. He said, I wish she was yelling at me. I hadn't even made it through the first 30 minutes of my day trying to describe to him what I had experienced. And he just wanted to remember what the details of being a human being felt like again. He was killed. What are we doing? I've been to Charlotte many times actually, and one of the brothers referenced it. There's plenty of injustice in Charlotte. There's plenty of police brutality in Charlotte. There are names that went viral, like there's Charlotte viral, and there's things that go national. And there are many names of victims here in this city, of families that many of you may even be a part of, that you know. I have supported those families. It is a new feeling for me to have people say, we need your help, and we don't go help them. That's new to me. And somewhere along the way, we have allowed fear to grip us. And sisters, I see you. This is not your responsibility, but I was reading a story from the Sahaba, and brothers were supposed to be fighting, and they came down running away from the fight. And the sisters were yelling and saying, what are you doing? Go back. If you don't go fight, don't come home. It's not your fault that we're not fighting the way we should, but all of us need to say something and hold each other accountable. I'll close to try to continue on what the brothers have built. I'll close with the hadith that is painful, and many of us have heard it and shared it. And when I first heard it, I'd only been a Muslim for maybe about 9 months. And it took me a moment to even understand that in so many ways it really feels like it's talking about us. The prophet, peace be upon him, had gathered some of his most beloved sisters and brothers around him. And he said, peace be upon him, that there is going to be a time where people will dine on Muslims like we are food at the table. Now, at this time, there were almost 200,000 Muslims, and they had not lost a battle in years. This is a strange thing to hear, that there will be a time where the enemies of Muslims will feast on us like we're food at the table. And someone, the hadith does not, this is an authentic hadith, it doesn't say the name of who asked this. The question was the first question that would come to anyone's mind. It said, are we going to be so few? Is the problem going to be that there aren't that many Muslims, that we are just easily defeated? The prophet, peace be upon him, said, no. In essence, there will be more Muslims than you can count. Sisters and brothers, a number that's more than you could count. I did the math. It would take you almost 70 years to count to 2 billion. There are 2 billion of us. It's a number, if you started today, most of us, we could count until the day we died and we would not get to it. So no, it's not that there are too few of us. There will be more Muslims than you can count. The prophet, peace be upon him, said, it's deeper than that. There will be wahan in their heart. And when I heard this word wahan, I first saw it and it looked like wan to me, and I said, what is this? And someone from the crowd literally said, O prophet, what is wahan? The prophet, peace be upon him, said, it's weakness in your heart. In essence, a love for this earth, in such a fear of death that your enemies see your love of this thing, in your fear of death, that they realize they can crush you anytime they want. Let me tell you what's beautiful. We don't have to have that fear. The prophet, peace be upon him, speaking to them, concluded, and he said something that broke my heart. He said, in that day, Muslims will be like the foam of the ocean. This is a coastal state. We're on the ocean. I live in New Jersey on the coast. If you've ever been in the water anywhere, there's nothing that's more of a nuisance than when you're in the ocean and a big thing of foam comes around you. All you have to do to get it away is just brush your arm off. A child can be in the ocean and brush the foam away. The Prophet of Allah, peace be upon him, said, the Muslims will be like the foam on the ocean. Here's what I know. Nobody comes to be with Muslims on a Saturday night because you want to be foam on the ocean.
Come on.
I can see you.
That's right.
You don't see yourself in the mirror and see foam on the ocean. You don't think of yourself as something that can just be brushed away. So here's my charge to you. It's really threefold. I trust Helping Hand. I don't work for Helping Hand. I work for another charity. I know their budget. I have traveled with people from Helping Hand. I have seen brothers from Helping Hand, and I mean this literally, spend money from Helping Hand and have 12 cents or 17 cents left over, and I have watched them put that 17 cents back into the envelope to make sure that whoever gave that 17 cents, that it goes back to do what they intended it to do. I've seen them do this. I hope you have an international charity that you trust. It does not have to be Helping Hand. I'm telling you, I donate to them and I trust them, and they're a wonderful charity for you to give to and trust. They do wonderful work. Secondly, and the brothers have said this, there's injustice here. And I've seen America's politicians always speak about injustice in the district they don't live in. I have helped manage almost 100 political campaigns in my life, and I always hear just pay closer attention to this. People will always speak about the police brutality in some other senator's state. Rarely the one in their own district, in their own county. But there is injustice here that needs you. Listen, I live in a house with 13 people, and so it's weird to me when I don't hear children. So don't worry about the children, okay? I feel at home now. It's okay. What are you doing locally? And I don't just mean attending the masjid. What cause are you fighting for? Who are you supporting that if you didn't support them, maybe they wouldn't even get the support? I can't even tell you what that is. I don't live here, but you do. And then here's the truth. And this is the last thing that I hope you'll do. There's so much injustice in the world that you truly can't fight full time for each thing. You can't. And it can be, I know because I've talked to sisters and brothers in Sudan and Sudanese sisters and brothers from all around the diaspora. It can be painful sometimes when it feels like no one cares about what you're facing. Let me tell you, to help you, Palestinians in Gaza care deeply about Sudan and speak about it often. And sisters and brothers in Sudan speak frequently about the oppression in Gaza. I see it. Pick a place. Pick a people that Allah has knitted to your heart. It doesn't mean that you have ancestry in Sudan. You don't have to. I'm not Arab. I have a deep heart for Gaza. I'm not Palestinian, never will be. I care deeply about them. And what that means is I don't quite have the time to care as deeply about a lot of other people that deserve it. And I need you to do that. Someone here needs to care deeply about Yemen. Some people in here need to care deeply about children, about issues facing women. You have to pick something. Pick a place, pick a people, pick a cause, pick a charity, pick a community in Charlotte. And let other people, Muslims, and just the regular everyday people of this city, and this county, and this state, let them see you doing the work. Let them recognize you not just by your beard or your hijab, but let them recognize you by where you are and who you stand up for. And maybe, just maybe, if you begin fighting more locally, it will feel more natural to fight nationally, to fight internationally, to see yourself even as a fighter for people in the deepest ways. Listen, I look forward to our conversation. Please forgive me if I've gone over. Again, as brothers have said, forgive me for any mistake that I may have made. And again, anything wonderful I've said, I promise you it is just Allah. Assalamu alaikum, and we'll join in the conversation. Thank you so much.